Hi everyone, here are the answers to your revision starter questions for today. So question 83, we have express the below with a rational denominator in its simplest form. So 8 over root 8. So to rationalise a denominator, we are trying to change the denominator of this fraction, which is the root 8, into a rational number, so not a surd. So what we do here is we multiply the whole thing by whatever the surd on the bottom is. So root 8 over root 8. Root 8 over root 8 is essentially just times 1. So we're not really changing the actual term. We're just manipulating it so that it doesn't have a surd as a denominator. So at the top line, 8 times root 8 is just 8 root 8. And then on the bottom line, root 8 times root 8 is an 8. Okay, so remember the same surd times itself is just that number. We then have to simplify this down, so the 8 and the 8, we can divide the top and bottom by 8 to cancel those out, and we're left with root 8. And then we can simplify that surd by splitting it into root 4 times root 2. Remember, you're looking for two numbers where one of them is a square number, in this case is the 4, and when you multiply them back together, you get the original number. So 8 we would split into 4 and 2. So root 4 is 2, so that becomes 2 root 2 in its simplest form. Question 84 is change the subject. So the first thing I would do here is, because we're changing the subject to R, is I'm going to write this the other way round, just so that the R is on the left hand side of the equals sign. So I've just written the whole thing the other way around. We're then going to add 5 to both sides first of all. So we'd have R cubed B equals P plus 5. We then would divide by b, so we'll get r cubed equals p plus 5 over b, and then the opposite of that cube would be to cube root the whole thing. So r equals the cube root of p plus 5 over b. The last question is a trig graph, and we're asked to write down the equation of the graph. So here, our amplitude, you can see the maximum value that we have is 4 and the minimum is -4. So the amplitude is 4. The shape of this graph is a sine graph, and you can see that you have 3 of the sine waves. So you've got 1 to there, 1 to there, and 1 to there. So 3 would be the period value. So y equals 4 sine 3x.